Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today is going to be a rough video for you all, and it's going to be eye-opening, it's going to be huge, and hopefully you all can see it because it is not going to be pretty. I have to do this before I have to go anywhere else because it's too big of an emergency to actually partake. And Matt Walsh is guiding the pavement to this actual type of stuff that be happening, and there's going to be a lot of pushback against this type of stuff. I will be pushing for this and going over stuff like that as well, because there are going to be people fighting back against this type of stuff, obviously, and but what I will be showing is exactly what we have been doing. And all this other crazy stuff that's been going on with what they've been doing and stuff like that with Matt Walsh's take and all that. So without further ado, we will find out. Now, I am trying to find the actual take here of what Matt Walsh has said, particularly for what Tennessee will be doing. Because Tennessee is going to be banning, I believe will be one of the people that will be banning the trans rights type stuff. And this is the reason why when I'm talking about people who specifically watch or listen to anything that is that will specifically don't stay in tune with stuff either. So, Tennessee is going to be doing it. So we have Tennessee doing this. And then we'll also have Major Taylor Greene, which is also another person. I know. She's not the greatest person on the planet. I understand this. But, again, she has gone out to do the same thing as well, because she has going to specifically get into the works here of what she said to this. So, without further ado, let's get directly into these articles, because it's a lot. It's a lot, but we have to go through it. Okay. So, what we have here is what we're first going to be going through is exactly what Matt Walsh has been saying. And Matt Walsh broke this story about 2 days ago. I didn't cover it because I was waiting for a little bit more information and all this other stuff. And now we know exactly what this is. Breaking. My team and I have been investigating the transgender clinic at Vanderbilt here in Nashville. Vanderbilt drugs, chemically castrates, and performs domesectomies on minors. But it gets worse. Here's what we found. Let's start at the beginning. Vanderbilt opened its trans clinic in 2018. During a lecture the same year, Dr. Shane Taylor explained how she convinced the Nashville to get into the gender transition game. She emphasized that it's a big money maker, especially because the surgeries require a lot of follow-ups. Vanderbilt was apparently concerned that not all of his staff would be on board. Dr. Ellen Clayton warned that constituents' objections are problematic. Anyone who decides not to be involved in transition surgeries due to religious beliefs will face consequences. In case the objectors hadn't gotten the memo, Vanderbilt unveiled a program called Trans Buddies. The Buddies are trans activists from the community who attend appointments with trans patients, moderating the doctors to guard against unsafe behavior such as misgendering. Vanderbilt makes their trans buddies available to children too. They make lots of services available to children, including chemical castration. That at some point in the last month they removed explicit admission of this fact from their site. Here's the archive shot. But they have forgot to delete a video from Vanderbilt Psychiatry's YouTube channel back in 2020, in which admits explicitly that they will give and have given irreversible hormone drugs to children as young as 13. After they have drugged and sterilized the kids, Vanderbilt, as explained in this video presentation by plastic surgeon Julian Wincor and physician assistant Shailene Vanderbloemen, will happily perform double vasectomies on adolescent girls. So let's review. Vanderbilt got into the gender transition game, admittedly in large part because it's very financially profitable. They then threatened any staff members who objected and enlisted a gang of trans activists to act as a surveillance order to compliance. They now castrate, sterilize, and mutilate minors as well as adults, while apparently taking steps to hide this activity from the public view. This is what healthcare has become in modern America. So I hope everybody else that is here listening to this understands and heard what I have just said, because that is what Vanderbilt is doing. Now I'm going to be giving this so-called email to somebody that doesn't seem I'm going to be giving this email to somebody that seems to be very against, or what I would say ignorant to that place, because he'll be watching the videos and everything partake. This is something he's going to be saying that due to my credibility, that what I say and the news information that I get is wrong. Well, here we go. The news that I am getting is not wrong because he has posted ample evidence of this. So unless you're going to actively deny this type of evidence, then you're going to have a huge issue with me. Okay? So here we go. So, as of right now, we know what Matt Walsh is talking about. Well, as of today, we have that, as of right now, we'll go over that realistically. Vanderbilt Medical Clinic shuts down its website after transphobic attacks. A Nashville area hospital has shut down a webpage for its transgender care center after a right-wing commentator and podcaster attacked the clinic for providing gender-affirming care. On Tuesday's episode of the Matt Walsh Show, Walsh claimed that the Vanderbilt University medical doctors drug and mutilate children, castrate and butcher them when they provide service to help children transition. In a string of tweets promoting the episode, Walsh screenshotted a segment of the hospital's trans clinic website that he claims offer chemical castration by offering services like gender-affirming hormone therapy and puberty blockers. In response, Vanderbilt took down the clinic's website. On Wednesday evening, Walsh tweeted that Vanderbilt responded to his accusations. They do not specifically deny anything in my report. Their only defense for drugging and mutilating kids is that their parents allegedly consent to it. Some online critics claim that Walsh's accusations were going to get people killed, hurt, or even killed. Wrong. You are getting people hurt or killed. We have active news about this. And when we go on to specifically, when we go about this young girl, which I highly recommend you guys listen to her story, because it needs to be listened through the bloody rooftops. This is what's happening consistently to children across the United States because they are not allowing this type of information to come out. This is the reason why I am wholeheartedly against this type of stuff. They're coming out and people are trying to silence them. Do you think I'm wrong? Well, guess what's going on here? We also have known that Republican lawmakers plan to strip Vanderbilt Hospital of child gender surgeries. So we have that's going on here, which is freaking great. I love that they're doing it. But now we have this. Forbes Yanks article about teen girl who detransitioned claiming it violated editorial guidelines. So why are they hiding this type of stuff? It really makes you wonder. And then we go back to where Google has banned GAG about this type of stuff, to where they're exposing these type of procedures onto children. And Google, Venmo, and I would say even PayPal has suspended these people from their emails and etc. because they're exposing this type of stuff. It is all linked, and I am not lying to you guys. I would not lie, and I would never ever try to. These are what these big corporations, these massive social media giants are doing. They're trying to prevent the knowledge and know-how of kids getting mutilated and completely, or having their lives completely destroyed by these procedures. And big tech is a part of it. You don't want to believe me? Go back to my video and actually go look at what they have been doing. Because GAG is actively against this. It's a whole pile of information that I have to pile up and give to you people. And then on top of that, I will also have to go and give to you people as well what else has been going on. So, now that you know this, we have Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin delivers utter insanity in new school rules on trans kids. Let's go over this, shall we? Making good on his campaign promises, Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin has overseen a new state guidance on how schools should handle trans issues, reversing some of the last government's extreme policies. Schools can no longer keep kids' choices secret from their parents. Gone are rights to compete in sports as your ID rather than biological gender. Same for bathrooms, locker rooms, and other such spaces. Father-daughter dances and the like are no longer verbatim. Naturally, the Washington Post, New York Times, etc., framed this running back trans rights, which in fact it's a very balancing. It's clear which win female for remote students, athletes, particular for parents, and for kids who don't actually suffer permanent degenerative disorder but are just confused, which too often proves to be the case. Though the individual in question may not sort it all out until they've had irreversible surgery. That's because there is an entire industry and ideological cheering section actively pushing that has the best solution. Social media doesn't help. Schools and parents need to treat all these kids with love and kindness, absolutely, and the new guidelines say so. They simply emphasize the heavy-handed idiocy that the old guidance imposed. Virginians elected Youngstown to start restoring sanity to their public schools. Good for him for doing his job. So, these people are actively fighting against this. This is the reason why I try to get my information to the best known people as possible, because we are fighting against this. It's plain and simple. We also have Major Taylor Greene, which I know we don't always have to agree on everything. This is not, but she is actively doing this. Georgia next. The 118th Congress must pass the Protect Children's Innocence Act to make it a felony to perform gender-affirming care on minors. If we don't, some states are going to do the opposite of Tennessee and protect gender mutilation of kids before they are old enough to vote. And as Matt Walsh has said, major update. I have met with Tennessee Rep. William Ramberth on Senator Zach Johnson. We are working on a bill to shut down Vanderbilt's child gender transition program and ban the practice in the state. Tennesseans do not want this barbarism in our state. We'll put a stop to it. And as Matt Walsh has said, Tennessee will become the first state in the country to make surgical and medical gender transitions for children illegal. We will pave the way. This is just the beginning. We are actively fighting back against this stuff, and the people who only want to listen to CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, because that's where they want to get their information, are completely blindsided by this type of information. They don't believe it. They don't want to see it. Well, here is the information to you. We are fighting back against the radical culture that is happening in our country. We have other countries that have banned this stuff from their countries because they realize the harm and damage it does to kids and to people in general. It is banned in other countries, but we have people that don't want to see this reality. And that's why we're coming in to stop it. Every email that I will be sending to certain people that don't believe this will have a full email being shown on what is being shown to these kids, etc., etc. This is the reason why we fight back. We fight back because we have to be able to protect the kids from this barbarism that is happening to them. Now, here's another thing as well. We have other things that we have to be coming forth, obviously, in these terms of services and all that. So, when we have some of these, with some of these people, we have to look up their names. Because, obviously, these people are, we need to look them up and all this stuff. So, it's hard to find these people because they're normally hidden and what have you. But what we try to do here is try to find these actual names and they're an actual doctor. So we end up finding this assistant professor of medicine, etc., etc. So we know that these people are legitimate doctors, and I will be sending this to people as well. These things will be put in the description so that way you guys will know on how that these people are actual legitimate doctors and this is what they're doing. So, now that we have this, and now we have this one here as well. We have this here, Department of Pediatrics, another doctor. So what we're doing here, guys, for the last bit of this video, because this video is long, but for a good reason. The reason why it's long, because you guys actively have to see, is what these people are, and what their doctors what they look like, and what they really are in general. Because normally it's really hard to find these people. So, that being said, we have found all these plastic surgeons. takes a bit to find some of these people because some of these people are quite interesting, I would say. Hard to find this person here. So we probably won't find that person, but there is actual stuff about this as well. So, that being said, you guys have seen the music. You have seen the reality of what some of the companies have been doing. And it's time we fight back, and we fight back hard. And it looks like we are. Good job on you guys for the fight, because it's not just me. You guys, the guys that support me, help me get this news out as well. So I appreciate everyone that comes and helps me for this, regardless of what political ideology they are on. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, and especially share. And I'll see you later. Take care.